Check, check. There was a ton of water last night, just to give you a heads up.
Oh, really?
A ton. It was like yeah, it was a lot. I figured I'd just give you a heads up because it was a lot. It was the most I've seen yet. That was just the actual volume of water coming out of the sky. It was a lot for an hour. Island life. We gotta look out for each other. It's strange because it's like we talk about down, you know. Sarah has a house down at the beach too, and that's where Jess and I are full time now, and it's funny because like last night it was really horrendous. Like it was raining a lot, and there was a lot of water, and it was really foggy. And then you wake up this morning, and you're like, "Oh wow, it's beautiful, it's clear." Right? It's like that peaceful feeling, like almost after a hurricane, like a strong storm, you know. And then all of a sudden the air is all fresh, right? And it's like there's like this peacefulness that comes over everything. Like, it's kind of how it was this morning. And the fun side is it should be chest to head high today. That's the plus side of that. Anything you want to do? Anything you want to do? No requests? We had a request for music today, so I'll put it on. Y'all know if you need to control it when I'm up on the mat, you know, I'm sure everybody knows how to use an iPhone, right? My code's not that, it's not that secretive, so I'll tell you.
It's a good thing to release when you're on video, too.
You got to get that out of my hand first, right, in order to get into it. And that's going to be a whole nother thing. So when we get going, would you mind just turning it up a little bit? Yeah, just get it to where it sounds good.
It's just the black knob is the volume.
Just that little, the top black one, yeah. Turn it to like maybe 3 or 4, somewhere in there, whatever sounds good to y'all. They won't be able to hear it on this, so you play it for whatever the room wants. All right, we ready? Take a nice seat, close the eyes. Sit up nice and tall. You know what we talked about earlier? That's kind of like our practice, right? Sometimes our practice, it's a little stormy. It's got some things going on that we're not sure of. It's a big challenge, right, to dive into it. And other times, it's easy. It's peaceful. It's chill. You know, that's the ebb and the flow. And that's what your practice is supposed to be like. Some things for you are going to be challenging, just like some things are going to be really accessible. And you honor all those moments. You know, you hear me say a lot like, you know, this moment is hard. Let it be hard. You know, there's moments like that through our life. You know, for me, that's a moment I'm in right now. I just have to remind myself once in a while, like, yeah, your moment's supposed to be hard. This is a heavy time. You know, let it be heavy. And you know, when we think about it, we have the fringes of everything, right? There's both sides, and there's times that are great, and there's times that are terrible. But where do we usually settle into? Somewhere in the middle, right? usually it balances itself out. So try that here in your practice. Try that here in your breath. So when you start breathing and concentrating on it, right, because you don't have to concentrate on your breath, it just happens. But when you start concentrating on that, you're going to notice there's these little places that you can sharpen up, that you can tune into. You always hear me say, slow down the beginning of the inhale. Because the front of the inhale, right, is fiery. It's stormy. It's like, and we suck and gasp that breath in, so we slow it down. As we draw the air. And on the exhale, it tends to like taper off, right? It's like, so we want to push all the way to the end. We need a little more fire at the end. And we count out the breath, right? And the inhale will be 2 or 3 seconds. Make the exhale the same 2 or 3 seconds. So we create a balanced action in the breath. Maybe we find Ujjayi breath where the air begins to rebound off the back of the throat. And we find that place from listening to ourselves breathe to wherever we need to settle into now in this moment. As the breath turns to movement on the next inhale, let the arms lift. And feel the exhale bring the thumbs to touch, and the pinkies, and the pointer fingers, and the ring fingers, and the middle fingers. It's the petals of the lotus closing. And now we bring our breath to that space between our palms. And we say it travels down our arms into the back of our heart, and from the back of our heart, out in front of us. And one time together to initiate our practice, together the sound of Om. Deep breath in. We softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. So I was mentioning to you all the other day that like I tend to hit like chakras and I tend to hit some of these yoga cues more on a physical sense for y'all, right? So think about what the Om is. The Om is not just us making that primordial sound, right? It's about controlling your breath, right? Because you're about to use your breath in a real strong way right now. And it's about keeping it in tune. How can you go, Om, and keep that together, right? That's a challenge in itself. We ready? Here we go. Spin around, all fours, hands and knees. Hands an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Sit up that low mountain. Low mountain's a powerful pose, right? We're not hanging out waiting for the next pose to happen. This is it. We're in it right now. So we're looking at our hands. Our pointer fingers are straight forward or they're turned out. We just don't want them turned in like this. See what happens when I turn my hand in? See my shoulders start to peel away? I need to go this way. Now I'm starting to root the shoulder back. Fingers are spread evenly, so like the roots are nice and wide here. Curl your toes. And as you sweep those inner heels out, you're going to hug the shins in. You're going to start pulling the energy up the legs. Pull your heels to your butt so you feel your hamstring starting to engage. Bring your belly to your spine. Bring your shutters closed. Now slide your throat back like to the ceiling. Your head wants to do this. So you're going to go this way. Slide the throat back. Bring your gaze right across your pointer fingers. And now breathe. Use the breath to start peeling those side bodies open, so from hips to armpit. Feel the breath to start peeling those intercostal muscles. Those are the muscles between your ribs. And then when you're ready, oscillating cat-cow. So you're going to take the hips up, back and around, and then forward, down, and under. And we'll go 5 to the right and 5 to the left. So go slow here. Stay with your breath. If it was 2 seconds to inhale, how long is it going to take the hips up and back? 2 seconds to exhale. How long is it going to take the hips to go forward and under? Now, this is my last one. So when you come to your fifth, stop in that neutral position, and then 5 to side 2. Taking those vertebrae through their full range of motion. Stay with the breath. And then after your 5 on side 2, we'll meet back into that neutral position, that low mountain. Take a couple breaths here. Take the knees back a few inches. Come to puppy dog. So puppy dog, I want to have my hips stacked up on top of my knees. Pull your belly in and pull your shutters closed. If you're not sure what your shutters are, right here. Bottom of my ribs want to blow open. I got to close those shutters, and I'm going to engage the top of my abdominal wall. We want that. Slide your forehead off the mat. Now you're using the weight of your arms, right? Your legs to hold you up a little bit more. And as you keep your arms lifting up, so lift the forearms up, lift the inner biceps up, that's going to create a little of that external rotation on your arm like we talked about before. Now soften your chest down towards the mat. And you start to get this nice peel coming up the arms and into the chest, your back, your side bodies. And then look forward, TP the fingers on the right hand, thread the left hand underneath. Take the twist here and puppy dog. You could even take your right elbow to the sky and you could start to peek underneath the elbow a little bit more. Yeah. Work that twist in your upper back, right? Thoracic spine. Inhale, come back to center. Soften down the middle, pull the belly and pull those shutters closed. Then TP the fingers, side 2, left hand. Thread that right hand underneath with the palm up. Or whatever your side 2 is. Keep that right hip nice and fiery by pushing down into that right knee and pulling the energy up that leg. And then breathe forward out of your waist so that your spine gets nice and tall and long here. And then you can twist open a little bit deeper. Next inhale, come back to center. Soften down the middle. Next inhale, come up, all fours, hands and knees again. Take a breath here. Step back to plank. So you want to start shoulders on top of wrist crease, and I'm reaching out of my heels like this. I'm in dorsiflexion. This would be like Tadasana, okay, like neutral. This would be plantar flexion like a high heel. We're never going to go here. We're going to go here and here. So now you'll have your distance set up. Now lift your hips. Go back to downward dog. So see, when I come forward, now I have this measured out. Right? So I can link it up. When your feet go forward, that's when you go to chaturanga. Right? We'll talk about that as soon as we start to get into that position. So first downward dog, bend the knees a little bit here if it feels good to you. Pedal the heels. All right? Swivel the hips. Whatever feels good in this first downward dog. You always hear me say like soften the dog. And then just like we did before, look forward for just a moment. Make sure the hands are set. Start to hug the hands into the midline like you're trying to pull your mat to the center. Keep those forearms and those inner biceps lifting up. It's a little more challenging now because we're bearing a little more weight. But that's the game. Now, as you push your hands down and forward, take your chest back towards your toenails. So you keep feeling that opener now. Stay with the belly and the shutters. Now in the legs, pull your heels to your butt to your heels. So you engage your hamstrings. Now softly, slowly try to straighten your legs little by little. Reach think of the bottom of your heel like closer to your midfoot towards the floor. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. We're going to do 5, so stay with your breath. If it was 2 seconds to inhale, it's 2 seconds to come forward to that plank. If it's 2 seconds to exhale, 2 seconds to push back, or whatever the length of your breath is. And this is where you always hear me say, like, it's almost like we're getting into slow motion now, right? We're moving slow. We're not. We're just moving with our breath. We'll meet back in downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. whatever your space is, fingertips or blocks, whatever it's going to take to get that spine to neutral. This is neutral spine. Right? This is what we don't want. So whether your fingertips are to the floor or whether you're up on the blocks, right? We're just looking for that spine to be straight. Now you can work your way down, but it's got to come through the depth of the legs here, of that hip crease, right? Not here where I'm crunching my belly. Now play with it. Keep pushing down into the legs, into your feet, and pulling your feet towards one another. So front to back, and then side to side, top to bottoms, we're pushing down. Now pull up that pelvic floor. These are the chakras, right? Pull your belly, pull your shutters closed, your heart's reaching out front, throat's back, gaze like where you're looking's out in front of you, and then you reach out of the crown of the head. Inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana 1 crescent. Try to hold all this in place. You might have to re-square that left hip forward a little bit, like you're hugging into the inside of that right thigh. You might want to pull back up, especially belly and shutters, so you feel that lift, and then maybe go ahead and curl back into the pose. Reach the back heel back, reach the front knee forward, reach up and out of the crown of your head, up and out of your fingertips. 1 more breath. Exhale the hands down to the floor. Left hand stays down, right elbow draws back as we take the twist. Spin the bicep forward on that left arm. That's going to take the shoulder back like we talked about. Keep that left thigh lifting up and soften that right thigh down to the floor. And then keep that twist happening in that middle upper back. 1 more breath. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hand down. Step back, downward dog. When you're ready, inhale, come forward to plank. Here's where we go forward, right? Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. So you could stay low here in baby cobra. You can come up a little bit higher, whatever your flavor is going to be. But shoulders are back and down. After your 3 breaths, lower the chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Now, if it feels good to keep your knees bent, keep your knees bent. If it feels better to straighten your legs, straighten your legs. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Lunge. It's a treat. Little Pearl Jam. What? Little treat here? If y'all don't know, I'm like a huge Pearl Jam geek, right? I'm one of those dudes that like listen to Pearl Jam radio and listen to Pearl Jam all the time, and yeah. So here we go. We take a breath. We set up that foundation. Remember, where you start is not where you want to finish, right? You want to try to take the pose a little bit deeper. And then you feel, okay, can I hold the space? Great. If I can't, no problem. I'm just going to start to work up a little bit. Maybe I'm going to go hands flat on my blocks instead of to my fingers, right? Work the pose. Here we go. Keep pushing down. Keep hugging in. Inhale, come up. Virabhadrasana 1 crescent. When the belly comes away from your thigh, so you're pulling your belly button to your spine, the stretch gets better in the front of the right thigh. Pull up again. Get the shutters to close. And then that's the lift here in that thoracic spine. Because now that we're tall, we go ahead and play with it. We curl back. As you go back, go up and back. So the back of the heart keeps lifting up through the front of the chest. 1 more breath. Now control it as you exhale the hands down to the floor. Then the right hand stays down. The left elbow draws back. Maybe we reach up to the sky. This time you're going to spin that right shoulder, right? Bicep to like this front of the room, and the right shoulder is going to go back. We're using it like a little bit of a kickstand. We open the left side of the chest even a little bit more. Maybe we look up. Inhale, come back to center. Nice, y'all. Place the hands down. Step back, downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Work on your breath, not my voice. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take the 3 nice breaths. After the 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands. Swing your arms up. Right hand grabs that left wrist, take that side bend to the right. Mountain pose everywhere else, Tadasana. So legs are fiery. Yep, core, we're hugging in. Keep rooting from the left hip into the left heel, but keep peeling up that left side body. Inhale, come back up, swap the hands. The inhale goes up this way, and then we go just a little bit to the side. Whatever angle you're on, peel up again, go a little bit deeper. Whatever angle you're on, peel up again. Yep, keep playing with the pose. Doesn't matter how far we are from where we started, we just want to be moving the pose forward. And then inhale, come up, exhale, release the hands, fold, forward, fold. Inhale, look forward. So balance the weight in the feet. It's going to be heel to the ball of your foot. It's going to be inner and outer edge. The visual is the center of my ankle in line with my second toe here. If my arch collapses, it's in line with the inside of my big toe. So you're probably going to have to lift the arch and take a little weight to the outer edge of the foot. Now keep pushing those heels down and sweeping those inner heels out. You shoot that up to like glute med and piriformis, so like the dimple of your butt when you do that action. Hug your shins in. You pull it up the insides of the thighs. Pull your kneecaps to your waist, quads. Pull your heels to your butt, hamstrings. Now as you look forward, drag your fingers like isometrically back to your toes. It's going to pull your spine forward. Now go ahead and dive deep into that pose. You could do that again. You can inhale, look forward. You charge the legs up. It's a lot quicker than when I'm breaking it down for y'all. And then you can exhale, fold. You could do that in a half a breath. You can inhale, look forward, charge the legs, lengthen the spine, exhale, fold. Right? Inhale, look forward, recharge the legs, re-lengthen the spine, exhale, fold. Or however you want to play. Static, holding the pose a little more, dynamic, moving a little more with the breath. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take that big reach. Maybe curl back. Belly's in, sit bones are down, so hips are back. Don't let your hips come forward. Now curl back under your shoulder blades. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, take a nice breath. And then take the shoulders back. And then if you want to take your hands away from your back to come up the arms a little bit more, go for it. If you want to keep your hands closer to your butt and work the chest more, whatever feels good to you. But the rest of your body, Tadasana. You could see from my toes up my legs, right? Everything's fired up here. Keep hugging that in. Exhale, release. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up. Big reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. See if you can work from your block, maybe to your fingertips to the floor. See if you can work from your fingertips, maybe to your palms flat. See if you can work to the back of your hands flat. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take that nice big reach. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Right leg forward, left leg back, triangle. So remember, the way to measure this is go into like your warrior two or your Parsva. We tend to go short in triangle. So like if I set up here in triangle and then I was to link this up, look where I'm at. So I'm way too short, right? Because my knee's supposed to be back here. So go into this position, and that might help you measure out a little bit. And then we're on the balance beam, so your front heel's in line with your back arch. Take this left thigh back. It always wants to do this. So take it back this way. Yep, take the arms up. Get nice and tall here. Yep, get these side bodies to peel. And then when you're ready, hinge at the right side of the hip. Bring the hand down to the block or the floor. Trikonasana, triangle. Keep that right side body opening. Spin that right shoulder back. Stay with the belly. Stay with the shutters. As the right sit bone lengthens towards the right heel, right, you feel the pelvis, top of the pelvis coming back. You feel that starting to open. The upper body, as the belly and the shutters close, you rotate. So you take the top of the ribs back, and then the bottom of the ribs come forward. Maybe you even start to look up. Inhale, come up. Bend into that lead knee. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Bring the elbow to the thigh. Sweep the bicep up along the cheek. Utthita Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. If you want to go right hand down to the block or the floor, go for it. If you want to rotate open, reconnect to the belly, reconnect to those shutters, and start to rotate open a little bit. Maybe look up. You'd be looking up right into your bicep. One more breath. Inhale, come up to that Warrior 2. Now push from that back foot to that front heel. Step forward. Nice, y'all. Swap side 2. Left leg forward, right leg back, triangle. Have those back toes just turn forward a little bit. Take those arms out to the side. Get nice and tall here. Yep, and then when you're ready, see, we're trying to clear the waist here so that we have some place to hinge into. When you're ready, hinge the left side of your hip. If we just crunch like this, right, where are we going? We need to be way out here as we go down. Yeah. I hear no hip pops. Y'all been dragging those feet together. We've been working on that. You probably don't even starting to be subconscious now. Keep hugging those feet towards one another. So you're pulling that front heel back. You're pulling the back arch forward. The legs are fiery. You're pulling it up through the core, the upper trunk. So then you can start to play with maybe that rotation or that looking up. And then soften your face into the pose. Settle it. Then push into that front heel. Inhale, come up tall. Bend into that lead knee. Warrior 2. Take the breath. Then the elbow to the thigh. Then sweep the bicep up along the cheek. See, here I'm going left sit bone to left heel. That's how I'm opening the inside of the thigh, adductors. Then maybe I start to play with that upper body. Then maybe even start to throw the balance in there as I start to look up towards my bicep. And then I settle, I soften my face, and I try to find a calm breath. One more. Push into the front heel. Inhale, come up. Warrior 2. Push from this back foot to the front heel as you step forward. Yep. Let the thumbs just catch your heart. Let your eyes close for a couple breaths. Let the thumbs flick the heart out in front of you. Tadasana. Just a little variation here. Right? You always hear me talk about like that play of power and freedom. Well, the power is you're holding Tadasana, right? So you feel safe enough to close your eyes, to flick your heart out, right? The freedom. And then gently open the eyes, release the hands. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Move through your vinyasa 3 times. So flow a little bit here. Challenge yourself with the flow. Right? Momentum carries its own challenge. Momentum, right, we got to be able to control. You always hear me say we want to start, stop, and hold, right? Acceleration, deceleration, stabilization. That's everything to your practice. That's you controlling your body. We'll meet back in downward dog. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Shoulders are on top of the wrist crease. We're reaching out of our heels. Knees count. We're pushing down. Your hips want to lift up here. This is the common tendency. They're going to try to fall to the floor. Keep them lifted up. Keep pushing down. Keep hugging your hands into the midline. Feel your forearms engaging. Squeeze your biceps. It's going to like support that elbow joint. Keep sweeping the heels out. Hug the shins and you feel the shake. Shit's getting real, right? Yeah, that's what we want. Keep breathing. This is one of those moments. It's hard, right? It's meant to be hard. Keep pushing down. Keep breathing. You want to play a little bit? Right heel up. Cross the left leg. Touch the outside of the mat. Bring it back up and in. Lower it down. Lift the left heel up. Take a breath. Take it to across that right leg to the outside of the mat. Bring it up and back and down. One more breath. And from here, lower your knees. Sit back on your heels or child's pose. Take a little break. Grab a drink. You can be Yana Mudra, where your pointer finger and your thumb touch. You let your heel of your hands at the crease of your hip. Close your eyes. You could be in child's pose, whatever feels good. Full breath in, complete breath out. And then wherever you're at, inhale, come up, open the eyes, exhale the hands down, all fours. Turn the hands out. Pull your bellies in. This wants to happen. This. So we want to go. Just like this would be too much, right? This is not enough. I got to hit that sweet spot. Now as I push down, I get this nice stretch coming up the arms, forearms, bicep, a little bit in the pec, not much. Inhale, unwind, sit back on your heels. Give that little spin. Inhale, come up, exhale, hands down, one more. You can turn the hands out. If you want to challenge a little bit more, you can walk your hands so that your pinkies touch. You could step back to plank. If you want to go Mayurasana, you're going to start, this is usually the variation I show y'all. You're going to take your knees wide so your toes touch, kind of like child's pose. Then I'm going to bend my elbows. I'm going to bring my belly in towards my ribs. I'm going to look forward. I'm going to push my feet together. I'm going to use my butt cheeks and my hamstrings to extend my hip up. Otherwise, you'd come from plank. You could take the block here like this, and you put the block like this. We all got something we got to like get around once in a while. So this is where you'd be to give you a little more space. Yeah, keep looking forward back. Yep. Yes. Yeah. And then wherever you're at, inhale, unwind, sit back on your heels, give that little spin. And then inhale, come up, exhale, hands down, all fours. If you've never tried any of these poses before, right, and you took your hands here, great. If you took them to touch, right, great. You've already moved a little further, right? That's always the idea. From here, step back to plank, and then downward dog. Work through one vinyasa. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands. Swing your arms up. Maybe curl back. Inhale, come up, exhale, hands in front. Standing quad stretch, we'll play it into baby dancer, okay? So let's root down into our left foot, and then we'll bend our right knee. Reach back, grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. Now the common tendency is you're going to lean forward and you're going to crunch your toes. See what happens to my big toe my big toe mound when I crunch my toes? It comes up, right? And that's one of my foundational pieces, the heel and the ball of the foot. So let your toes stay loose here. You could put them on the floor, but keep them controlled. So keep leaning back. Let your heel be heavy. Belly's in, sit bones down. Now heel to the sit bone. So the quad stretch is getting better. Now we want to go with the dancer. The left arm comes in front. We plug it in. Don't worry about kicking the leg back. Just hinge at your hip and keep your heel heavy on your left foot. Keep hugging to the inside of your left thigh so this doesn't happen. We keep hugging in on it. Now when you reach out, pull your hand into your foot. Now kick your leg back. Yeah, we do that last, right? We use that as the extension of the pose. One more breath. Inhale, come up. Release the leg. Tree pose. Arms can be down here to give you a little more like hug in. Arms can be up to play with the balance a little bit more. Yep. Lean back. Hug in like you're squeezing a beach ball between your forearms. Now take your eyes up the wall a little bit. Maybe bring it to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Maybe take it to one of the girders. Maybe take it to another girder. Maybe look straight overhead. Maybe close your eyes. Open your eyes. Exhale, release. Nice, y'all, right? What's your edge? That's what you want to get to. Swap side two. I tell you all the time, right? There's no better practical core work than standing on one leg. For human movement, for just your everyday life, it's as good as it gets, right? So let's play with it. What happens if you like fall over? Just chuckle and go at it again, right? So lean back, make sure your toes can move on that right foot. Don't worry about pulling the heel to the sit bone yet. Now go belly button to spine. Now go sit bones to the backs of your knees. You're neutralizing the pelvis. Now draw the heel to the sit bone. We get the quad stretch. Then the right arm comes in front. We plug in. Then we just hinge. Remember, don't kick the leg back until you feel like you're all the way out. Then when you get your balance, draw your hand into your foot and kick your leg back. Yeah, and keep hugging to the inside of that right thigh. Spread your fingers. Beautiful, y'all. Inhale, come up. Release the leg. Tree pose. So you're either here or your foot's low here. Doesn't matter. It's one's not better than the other. Arms by the side or arms up. Lean back that little bit. Make sure your toes can move. That's how your heel kicks on glute med and piriformis, pelvic stabilizers, right? That's what we need on. Then we play. We start to draw our vision up the wall. Then maybe to the ceiling. Then maybe totally overhead. Maybe close your eyes. And then open your eyes. Exhale, release. Right, y'all see me. I'm on camera. I'm up front, right? What do? I just like, and I go again. Right, you set it up. All right, here we go. Back to Tadasana. Sit back as the knees bend. Swing the arms up. Take a big reach. Curl back a little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold. Like, we all want to be good at everything we do, right? That's natural. Of course you do. You want to stand on one foot, and you want to stand up there the whole time. But then it gets to a point where that's going to become too easy, right? And you're going to have to move it the edge a little bit. Bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog, move through 3 vinyasas. Flow through again. Right, and that's one of my favorite parts about yoga is the challenge. I even talk about that, right? I put that in my closing every single time is about the challenge. Yoga loves you enough, right, to always keep something challenging you. And we just accept that, and that's why we just practice. Right? We don't beat ourselves up over any of this stuff. We just practice and we do our thing. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, pigeon. So take your right knee all the way to the right edge of your mat. It won't change the intensity of the pose, but it will take the foundation nice and wide as compared to when your knee is like this, in line with your hip. Take it to the outside.
And then if you need to make the pose more challenging, like more intense, you move your back knee back a little bit. That's how you'll get your shin to go a little more parallel with the front of the mat. Then keep pushing down, right? At any moment, right? I have a strong foundation. I can take my hands off the floor. This is how much power you got to have in this pigeon, right? You don't have to do this, but that's the power that you want. Now breathe, like up your weight, up your spine so that you're peeling out of your waist. And then if you want to fold, fold. But keep looking out in front of you so the spine stays nice and long. The head and the throat stay back. Let the chest come down first. So I'm doing this. My throat to the ceiling, my chest to the floor at the same time. Opposing forces. Because this wants to happen. But I don't let it, right? I keep working this way. Throat back. That'll change the pose right away, right? The intensity in the back of the hip, which is where we're stretching, and down the back of the leg. And even here, you can come up halfway, you take your hand onto your foot, and you push like a gas pedal, and you hug in. Then you move your front knee back an inch or two, you hug back in, then you move your back knee back an inch or two, and you could take the pose a little bit deeper. Then I go back to my fold, and I work my pose even a little deeper. If that feels good for you, go for it. If holding where you're at is there, awesome. Couple more breaths. And then inhale, come up, place the hands, take a breath. Lift the hips, unwind that right leg, reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward, right knee to right elbow, back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward, knee to chin or chest, back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come across the body, knee to left elbow, back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. And lower that right leg down, take a breath. Reach the left leg straight back. When you're ready, step it through, pigeon side 2. So this time I got that left knee to the left edge of my mat, and my right knee will be in line with my right hip. And then take a couple breaths. Feel that power in your legs. And then if you want to go for the fold, pull the belly in, get nice and tall, and then go for the fold. I tend to do this with my arms like a lot to hold my spine up a little bit. You could be here. Just don't look down this way. Keep looking out in front of you, and that'll keep your spine still nice and tall without rounding your upper back. That's what you're feeling, that you don't want to go to the upper back. To me, this just makes like these pillars where I can sink my chest down, right? But it keeps my spine nice and tall. So that's why I like this position, but whatever feels good to you. Now I want to go deeper in the pose, so I'm going to come up halfway. I take my right hand to my left ball of my foot, and I push like a gas pedal, and I hug in. Then I move my front knee back an inch or two, and I hug back in again. Then I move my back knee back, I hug back in again, and then I go back to the fold. And chest leads the parade, right? Throat is sliding back here. And we're going to hold for a few more breaths. All back here we're at. And then inhale, come up, place the hands, take a breath, lift the hips, unwind that left leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Then come forward to the left elbow, back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Then come forward to the chin or the chest, back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward across the body for the twist. Back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Take the breath. Lower that left leg. Roll to the outside of the right foot. Stack the left foot on top or in front. Come into side plank. Turn that bicep forward, root into the upper back. Push out of the big toe mounds. Maybe look up that left arm. Settle into the pose now. Breathe. Inhale, come back to plank. Push back, downward dog. Take a breath. Roll to the outside of the left foot. Stack the right foot on top or in front. This is one of those moments, right? It's meant to be hard. We're on one arm. We're on the outside of our feet. Then we're like reaching an arm up to the sky. Then we're looking up. And then we're asking ourselves to be calm. One more breath. Beautiful, y'all. Inhale, come back to plank. Push back, downward dog. Look forward, bend your knees, step or jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a big reach. Curl back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Awesome, y'all. Grab your mats, find a spot on the wall. We'll go upside down. Home crew, if you're at home and you don't have the wall to kick up on, you can always lay on your back with your knees bent. Interlace your hands behind your thigh as you reach the heel to the sky. Take a bunch of breaths. And then you can swap into side two. If you're at home or in the studio, it's not your day to invert. You're always welcome to go legs up the wall or do a pose that feels good to you. I'll talk you all through downward dog and L pose, and then handstand, headstand, tripod, one-handed handstand. Anything you want to play with, go for it. Okay? So if you're going to stick with me with downward dog and L pose, we're going to start all fours, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall. All right, like we're in that low mountain like we were earlier. And we're going to take a couple breaths, and when we're ready, we're going to lift our hips so we come to a short downward dog. Then you're going to check in. You feel good, step one foot up the wall. Still feel good, step the second foot up the wall. With your knees bent, you'll be in downward dog inverted. With your legs straight, you'll be in L pose. So two different poses, right? But what we want to do in both poses is we want to push our hands down and forward and take our chest towards the wall that our toes, our feet are on. So we're taking our chest towards our toes. But keep the belly in and keep those shutters closed. What's yoga asking you here? To be real calm and collected, right? While your ass overhead. You're literally upside down trying to be calm. That's the game. Awesome, y'all. Nice. You know, take your time, try it, maybe try something else or rest and go for it again. We'll be here for another good minute or so. Minute and a half, so take your time, play around. Stay with your breath. Keep breathing. It's going to be easy to hold your breath in those challenging moments, right? Nice, y'all. Beautiful. Awesome control. When you're finished with your inversion, we'll all meet on our backs.
So, as always, supported bridge, right, is where you take the block and you put it at the sacrum. So if you're not sure, I take the block here. Where my crack is too low. Where my lumbar spine is too high. I want to be that solid part of my pelvis. And then I can be here. I could take the shoulders back. I've told you all before, when I need my deepest back bend, it's not wheel. It's not walk down the wall. It's right here, supported bridge. This is what's going to give me the best crack open, right, of my heart, right here. Because I need all the support in order to let that happen. Some of you, it's going to be wheel, and I'm going to talk you first into bridge and then into wheel. But as always, if this is what feels good, stay here at supported bridge. We had a fiery practice, so that might feel nice. Now, if we're going to go into bridge, I'm going to first talk you into bridge and the second time wheel, but you're more than welcome to do 2 bridges or 2 wheels or supported bridge, whatever you're playing with. We're going to start with our knees bent and our feet are on the floor, and we can feel our heels with our fingertips. That's how we get our knees to be on top of our ankles. Now, as you build it up, bring your sacrum flat to the floor. So you're going to go belly button to spine, maybe sit bones to your heels a little bit. Now bring it up. Let the head and let the shoulders settle back. Let your head rest back. Your arms can be at your side if you want a little more support here. Charge the legs. So you're sweeping the heels out, you're hugging the shins in, you're pulling your heels to your butt. When you're ready, slowly lift the hips, come to bridge. Go slow, because y'all are strong, right? You could do this, and that's going to be too much. So go slow as you lift the hips. Feel that there's still a crease at your hip. You're not driving the front of your thighs to the ceiling. Take the shoulders under a little bit deeper. I want my knees ultimately to be working like closer towards one another than further away. If I lift my butt up too high, my knees want to splay out. That's how you know you went too far. You want to keep the inner thighs working in and down. Take the shoulders under even a little deeper here. Now, as you gently push the feet down and forward, you'll feel that back bend deepening right behind those shoulder blades. One more breath. Stay engaged as you lower down. See if you get the sacrum to land flat when you lower. Then take the feet wide, let the knees touch. One hand on your heart, one hand on your low belly. Now on this second one, I'll first talk you up into bridge, and then those of you that want to go with wheel, I'll talk you into wheel. Inhale, open the knees, reset the feet, bring the arms back along the sides. Start nice and neutral, just like we did before. So set the foundation. Now start to engage. When you're ready, lift the hips. Come to bridge. Take the shoulders under. If you're going to go wheel, place your hands wide and feel the edges of your mat with your pinkies, at least. Some of us will have even more than our pinkies off, but at least your pinkies there. Keep that width. Now plug your shoulders back. And then when you're ready, push down to come up. So we integrate real nice in the upper back. You can lift up your heels to lengthen the curve. That'll make it more accessible. Nice, y'all. One more breath. And then stay engaged as you lower down. See if you get sacrum to land flat. Take the feet wide. Let the knees touch. If your left hand was on your heart last time, your right hand, or whatever your side 2 is, knees touch at the midline. Go back to the breath. Then open the knees and just windshield wiper side to side. Next time they fall to the right, let them settle there. Pull your left heel to your left sit bone. Lateral quad stretch. If you want to take the ankle above the knee, you certainly can. But persuade that knee forward. Don't push it down to the floor. Keep your belly button in to keep those SI joints safe. And then release the ankle if it's there. Inhale, come back to center with the knees. Let them settle to the left. And then right heel to right sit bone for that lateral quad's the outside quad.
And then if you want to take the ankle above the knee, persuade the knee. So you could see I'm like persuading forward. I'm not cranking my knee down to the mat. And I'm holding my belly button in. I'm holding my shutters closed. And then release the ankle if it's there. Inhale, come back to center. Hug the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug or make a couple small circles on your low back. Come to neutral. Keep the knees bent, lower the feet to the floor. Inhale the right leg up. Cross it nice and tight over the left. Let your hips go to the right a little bit. This will just help you stay on your mat. And let your knees then settle to the left. Stay with the belly and the shutter so that you don't manipulate the ribs, but you really twist the spine. And you could even take your arms out to the side. You could even look away from the bent knees. But staying with that belly and that shutter and twists are what keeps the spine tall. What keeps the rotation happening instead of the manipulation. And then inhale, come back to center. Unwind that right leg. Scooch back to center. When you're ready, left leg up. Cross it over nice and tight. Hips are going to scooch to the left a little bit. The knees are going to settle to the right. The left shoulder is going to root down into the mat. Keep a little bit of hug in the legs, a little bit of engagement. Right? We're not fifth gear pedal to the metal. We're probably second gear, right? We're cruising. We're keeping length in the spine, and then we're twisting a little deeper into the pose. Inhale, come back to center. Unwind those legs. Reach the legs out straight. Reach the arms up overhead. Take a big stretch. I never pay attention to the music when I'm teaching. But now that I'm practicing, I kind of hear it a little bit with y'all. Good set list today. And hug those knees into your chest. Take those knees wide. Come to happy baby. So even here, my sacrum is flat. If my sacrum wasn't flat, it would look like this, where my butt's up to the sky. See, it might be a little more challenging when I'm holding my toes. Right, I got to keep my sit bones working down. This is pretty edgy for me, right? Some days I can hold it. Some days it's a little more challenging. Those days that are more challenging, I just let go of my feet and I hold the outsides of my shins. That lets me pull my knees nice and wide so they're wider than my shoulders. That lets me bring my sit bones towards the mat a little bit more. So now I feel the sacrum root. Now I can draw my knees towards my ears. And there's a stretch in the back of the hip, and there's a stretch on the inside of the thighs. And then if you reach one leg out or both legs out, you might get the back of the legs one more time, whatever feels good to you. And when you're ready, inhale the knees to center. Exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat, but you're more than welcome to do a variation that feels good to you. And here as we lay back, we let the legs stretch out, let the feet gently roll open. Allow the arms to come along the sides and let the shoulders settle back. That open palm turns to the sky. We let the head rest back and maybe the eyes close and the tongue softens from the roof of the mouth. Because here the challenge is to let the body get heavy and to let the mind soften and release and to allow the heart to open. And I talk about that all the time. The way we open our hearts for each other, the way we share our hearts or flick our hearts out in front of us. Right? That's a beautiful energy that you all created here. It's why the yoga room is so special. Because we have this place that we can come to and we can be ourselves and we can feel supported. We can challenge ourselves.
We share the love. We grow. We do this for ourselves and we do it for each other. And begin here to draw in a deeper breath. Feeling the breath as it washes over the body, your toes, your fingers, the crown of your head, the back of your heart. We reawaken that better version of ourselves. Ready for whatever challenge is going to be next. As the fingers and the toes wiggle, the arms and the legs stretch or reach, move in a way that feels good. Taking your time, moving slowly, moving consciously. And when you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest and just roll to the right side. Take a breath or two here. When you're ready, you can push yourself up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed, our hands in front of our hearts. And one more time, to seal in our practice, our time together with our kula. Together, the sound of Om. All together, deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work, that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Thanks, crew. Good to see everyone. Super fun as always. You know, if you have any questions, grab me before you go. Something feels weird in your body, definitely get me before you go. Maybe I'll see some of y'all tomorrow or Saturday. If not, I'll see you soon. Thanks, crew. Home crew, you know, if you need me, hit me up. Welcome.